Okay, so welcome to the India market review for 19th December. It's been quite a wild ride this week, as we see on the chart here. So early part of the week, the market continued to go down. So there's a chart of the Nifty daily. The market continued to go down for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday, Friday, it just beautifully recovered. So uh, to put things in perspective, going 2 weeks back, we had talked about the squeezer stop formation here in the first week of December, and we said that's a significant resistance there that was building up. And there was also the question of the MACD, at this point going flat, and I don't think we had a crossover yet, but the in retrospect, of course, one would say the potential was there. And then the market just started to go down the whole of last week without any bounce at all. And this week, the same thing happened. And this week, if you look at this line, this is the 100-day exponential moving average. And that's where it, pivoted around on the whole of Wednesday and then finally closed with a doji there exactly at the 200-day exponential moving average. And then Thursday and Friday have been gap ups. So it's gapped up on Thursday and on Friday and gone up. So, and at least on Thursday there's been some long lower shadow. Plus today it's been a doji, and then you have the 50-day exponential moving average today, which was sort of the resistance provider, if I may use the word. So one thing to keep in mind is the 200-day moving average reversal, and then after being oversold, it has actually come back from the oversold zone as far as indicators are concerned. Having said that, one thing I would like to point out at this point is that the MACD is firmly in the negative territory now, and from the high mega overbought levels of plus 100, it has swiftly gone to minus 43. And as of now, if you were to strictly just go by Doe theory, then this is just a bounce, and this may not yet be an uptrend. So it's all tentative right now, though the strength is pretty good. So this was, I'm going to make this yellow. This line was the previous life high of the Nifty here in September, and you can see that it's been beautifully tested, went a little bit down, and also it could be the end. I'm not saying no, like this correction here, this correction here, etc. Just that the bounce has happened not on Marubozu type candles, but on doji type candles. Having said that, you have the long lower shadow. You also have so that's the positive side and the gap ups that we've had. The negative side is this MACD, which is still now in the clearly the negative territory. It's come down to negative, and it of course, the MACD being a very lagging indicator, it will take time for it to convert back. But it's very important now that the Nifty does not go below the low of this, which is 7961. So it's made a very swift recovery in 2 days. So point to watch will be the 100-day moving average around 8,000, 8,040, and then 7961, and then as long as that doesn't get breached, we are okay. All right. Some of the really short-term moving averages have crossed over, 3-day, 5-day, and if of course, again, moving averages being lagging indicators, it's going to take some time before they turn around. So we can definitely say on a sort of multi-month, multi-week basis that this is a correction in a longer uptrend, but in order for this uptrend to be sort of reconfirmed, it has to now break the previous high, which is at 8,632, which is still around 400 points higher than where it is. So just keep that in mind. So I would definitely tentatively be long, given the gap ups and the long shadows on the low side and the 100-day moving average, but wouldn't be too aggressive in investing at this point, given the fact that next week is a short week, Christmas holidays, everything sort of gets lackluster, expiry week, and maybe the real action again will start again in first week or second week of Jan. So next week I'm not expecting much fireworks. The big news for this week was probably the ruble crisis, and in India the GST bill, right? So clear the cabinet, going to be present in the parliament. Now whatever we talk about the GST, one thing remember that the implementation is only in 2016, so that's still 1 year 3 months, 1 year 4 months away. So the euphoria will happen, especially if the bill gets passed, and then triggers going forward, Bobby, or you're talking about the GST bill?
I mean, I just want to know, no results. It'll be basically news based, right? Or is it? Will it be only news are going to? I mean, like the Fed law kept the interest rates the same. I mean, they didn't make any changes. So, I mean, like, what would, in terms of stimulus, what could direct the market? Will it be just random news and government policy or something?
I can't think of anything right now which is in the pipeline which could trigger the market, except that from, let's say, mid-Jan, it'll be result season again, right? So this quarter is over, and you can expect that from the second week of Jan, the quarterly results for this quarter will start coming out, and the trigger will be stock specific or sector specific. Like we said last week, somebody who's has been interacting a lot with the industry, and his wife does a lot of road shows for Tata Steel. What you had mentioned is apparently the thing is the economy on the ground is apparently not as rosy as people are thinking, and the results that he was saying, the results might be quite disappointing for a large set of people. So it will be interesting to see what exactly happens, and how so in terms of events is the results that I can think of. Apart from that, I think as far as oil and potential fall in interest rates and all that is concerned, it's all been factored in, and unless there's something surprising from, let us say, the RBI, in which they decide to cut rates maybe earlier than March, then I think that could be a trigger, right? So RBI cutting rates earlier. It's not something like we can't rule out. Inflation has fallen down, WPI has fallen down a lot, and crude oil has come down and looks like it's going to stay down for now. So we'll just have to, I guess, wait and see and how that really plays out. So those are the triggers I can think of for now, nothing else, right? Okay, so that's the Nifty. Coming to the individual sectors, starting with the Bank Nifty. So the Bank Nifty, you can very nicely see we had this band of support here between 17,700 and 17,450. How this day, Wednesday, sort of pivoted around that and took support on the 50-day moving average, and then has reversed from there. And if you remember the previous IMR, we kept saying that banks were probably the one set of stocks that that one should actually be buying into, and it's played out very much in the same way. I want you to notice how much of a difference there is between the Nifty and the Bank Nifty in the MACD levels. So you can see that the Nifty MACD was negative, but the Bank Nifty MACD is quite healthy, even though it's got a negative crossover, and then again it's like flattening out. So the banks definitely have a lot of strength in that up move, and every dip on banks is something that one should definitely use as an opportunity to buy, right? Okay, Sid is asking about negative IIP numbers. I think we discussed that last week, didn't we? So obviously I think the market has just maybe just forgotten. I mean, there's news all the time. It's really tough to say that it's because of this, that, and all. It's very nice that we make these connections, but that the market, as we all know, has its own mind and its own emotions, and it does whatever it wants to do. So maybe the IIP has been forgotten, and everybody is now looking at interest rate cuts or whatever it is, or low crude oil, or the fact that inflation has fallen so substantially. So I really don't have a straight answer. But yeah, I think that's what is possibly going on. I mean, just looking at the next and the next and the next event and what's in the future, right? Okay. So the Bank Nifty, so again, this one slightly, in my opinion, has healthier bodies in the candles than the Nifty, right? Except today is fulfilled green. Definitely going back to its life high at around 18,840, and then probably, if like let's say RBI decides to cut rates, easily 20-25,000 in the quarter or 6 months is distinctly possible, right? So that's on the Bank Nifty. So I think banks remain a buy. All right, and then PSC power. So the power index recovering with the rest of uh, the market, but the power index still remains very weak. It's never been able to cross this resistance support line in the current rally, and then now it is below the 200-day moving average. So more or less mimicking the rest of the market, and definitely a nice evening star formation, very, very healthy one as a matter of fact. But still, I think it could be an underdog sector that one could be looking at, but just to, I think better to be careful about putting your money in, or if you're putting your money in the power sector, a little bit, not too concentrated. Right? A lot of resistances all the way till 2070, 2080, and then really, this is the level that it has to really, really break out of. So let's extend this and keep this into the future and see what happens. Realty, all right, so yeah.
I just put a link up there. I just wanted power. I track a few things. This is a pretty, and this was there in the previous government also.
Okay.
It seems these guys are actually moving forward, and that you can just open it up and, if you,
what is it about?
It might be useful information.
Yeah, it's coming up one sec.
It's about government's initiative, for power, energy savings and power.
All right, so here it is. So India to invest $4 billion to tackle power theft. So this is actually something totally different. This will really be these guys that you want to look at now, right? Meters, distribution, transformers. So who are the guys making transformers and who are the guys making these meters? It's not the power companies that we normally look at, the Reliance Power, the Tata Power. These are not the guys. Who are the companies making this? I know for a fact that L&T is one of the companies making electricity meters across the range, right from domestic ones to all of that. So if you go and look at your own domestic electric meter, probably has been converted to digital by now. Go and have a look and find the names, and then maybe we can pool those names and then see, and of course do a Google search and see. I would be big time looking at electric meters. $4 billion is a hell of a lot of money, and I don't think they're more than maybe 20, 30, 50, max 100 companies in the whole of India which are making these things, and very few of those would probably be listed. But whatever it is, it's probably going to be a big leg up for these companies, right? So those making transformers, again, L&T, Siemens, ABB, these are the ones which do the big ones. But there are a lot of small companies. I'm sure there's some in the mid-cap side and all of that. So it'll be worth definitely looking at that, right? So thanks, Bobby. This is definitely a useful thing, a theme that one should look at, and the whole upgrading of infrastructure on the electricity side, or for that matter anywhere else, is definitely a sub-theme in the. Let me put it this way: even if GDP growth doesn't pick up, and for whatever reason we remain at 5% growth, there'll be these unique themes or special themes like this, niche areas rather, that's the word I was looking for, like meters, transformers, defense, where I think you'll still see some positive action in the weeks and months to come. So even if the overall economy is not doing well, there'll be these niche ones. So excellent, fine, Bobby. Thanks again. Right, okay. And then I'm sure you're going to look for those meters. Share the list with us, please. Thank you in advance. Okay. Okay, so this is the reality index. Now, surprise, surprise, it's really not recovered as much as the rest of the market, as you can see. So this is definitely looking weak. It's taken support on the downtrend line. And the question is it really going to start going up from there, or could it even fall to 1400 levels? we'll have to really wait and watch. So that is the reality index there for you. Could be value buying. I'm just sticking my neck out on this. We really need to do a fundamental review of the market sometime soon. So maybe we'll schedule that our usual one-day macro review ASAP, I think. And reality could be a place where value buying, value has appeared rather, not value buying. We need to look at that. But technically, you'd still not touch it till it breaks out of 1700 levels on the reality place. Okay, CNX IT. So IT also recovering, and nice Marubozu on Tuesday. Okay, so IT recovered before the rest of the market. So IT fell before the rest of the market. IT recovered before the rest of the market. So one starts to wonder, what is the cause and effect? IT started the fall. IT stopped the fall. Is the market now following IT, and why has this, just turned up? But anyhow, that aside, quite healthy in terms of candles. When I say healthy, I'm comparing it to how the Nifty picture is. Remember, there were dojis there, and so hold on. Another thing about IT is that it came to these support levels. Must make a note of that here. Right, so this has turned out to be a pretty important support that we need to track in the future. Almost came back to its old life high here, so shy of that by about 500 points, but it's good enough. And a good double bottom for now on IT at 10,680. As long as it doesn't break that, looking good. And the other thing is related to IT. The rupee has broken 63. So that's something we need to add here. Which brings up an interesting question, right? What is the RBI going to do about this? Because so the crude oil has gone down, great for us, but if the rupee now again weakens, then bad for us. And the RBI needs to relook at, like if you're looking at the Russian crisis. I'm not saying that that's what's going to happen in India, but what I am saying definitely is that if the Indian rupee is under pressure, then the RBI is now going to have a conundrum, which is if interest rates get cut. So why Russia increased the interest rate there, as you already know, by 6.5% in the blink of an eye overnight at 1 a.m. Russia time. That announcement was made literally in the middle of the night, so as to not spook the markets during daytime, in a sense. Was high interest rates. Basically, you're getting a 17% guaranteed return, FD deposit sort of thing. Why would you want to take your money anywhere else? So the selling of ruble stops. More people want to buy rubles, so dollars come in. You convert them to rubles, invest in the FD rate there at 17%, and so suddenly there is demand for the ruble currency. That's the logic, and it stops money going out, and it attracts money into Russia. So just using that as an example to say that if the rupee were to slide, then RBI might now say, look, we've got a problem on the foreign exchange side, and we don't want to decrease the interest rate too quickly, because then the rupee becomes less attractive for investors. So it's a double-edged sword. It's you bond investors versus equity investors. Rupee goes down, equity investors are happy because for the same number of dollars you get more rupees. But the bond investors, you get lower interest rate or higher interest rate, and then they will decide on that, right? So these are like counter opposing needs, even though both of it is foreign money. So you can see that dropping interest rates would not be good for bond buyers, or rather people who want just coupon interest. But it would be good for equity guys. And then if you look at the data, the bond investments are usually much higher. So we'll see. I mean, it's very tough to predict which way these things go, and just best to wait and see how they play out, right? Okay, so the IT, is it because of the rupee? Is it because of recovery, or is it just a technical bounce? We'll have to wait and watch, but a good double bottom here, definitely in place, 3 months apart. So that's, from that perspective, I think it's looking good to buy. So we're looking at the Nifty Junior today. Wow, massive doji, almost a dragonfly doji on Wednesday, huge recovery, and then after that we have continued to go up. And actually, if you look at this, it's broken through all the short-term resistances and looking quite healthy. MACD again better than Nifty for sure, just minus 21 on a base of 18,000. That was minus 43 on a base of 8,000. So this is definitely healthier. Look like there's more strength, not looks like, there is more strength in the mid caps than in the large caps. Energy, all right, so that's interesting, has bounced again, and as you can see, very nicely from a support level. So again, how beautiful and nice your lines can be if you've got them well placed, and voila, you've got proof. And gone up quite nicely too. Today, very healthy candle. Looks like there's quite a bit of buying happening in energy stocks. CNX Infra, all right. I would say, okay, even though it's nice recovery, but the 200-day moving average just there, definitely amongst the weaker sectors this week compared to all the other sectors. So infra reality is still underperforming, still weak. Pharma, so pharma played out I think 1 week late in terms of what we had expected. So finally it cracked. Probably just the rest of the market just pulled it down. Took support at the 100-day moving average. Tentatively has moved up only. If you see the candles again, just a tentative bounce, not really something very strong, and may actually be more of a I would say, at least in the pharma thing, it's looking more like a bounce than an actual recovery. In some of the others may be a recovery, but this is not looking like that. PSU Bank, oh wow, this is interesting. Wasn't expecting to see a red candle, such a big one today. So PSU banks were the leaders over the last few I think weeks in terms of their move compared to private banks. And again, PSU Bank index came back to an important zone of support here and has gone up from there, so that's excellent. But today's bearish engulfing, pretty strong one, that too, is something to be a little clear about, right? Okay, so that's the PSU Bank. VIX, we skipped. Nifty we did. BSE Auto. So auto again, so this is interesting. Banks are looking okay, but PSU banks were not. Bank Nifty was looking okay, but PSU banks are not looking okay. Your realty and infra were like weak, and auto had a big sell-off today, upper shadow, though it is now at 50-day moving average and then deciding whether to move for what to do. So my guess now is that, okay, let's finish the sectors, then we'll finish. Consumer durables, all right, so some support happening at the previous support zone of 9,200 and a tentative bounce today. Capital goods, nice hammer, nice confirmation, but again today upper shadow, and you've got 50-day moving average right on top. MACD has moved to the negative. FMCG, very interesting. So FMCG weakness persists, no confirmation after the hammer. This is like a sideways move before the next fall happens on FMCG, who knows. And this is in spite of things like input costs for FMCG going down on account of things like what is that, crude oil, stuff and things like that becoming cheaper. Okay, healthcare, okay, showing some amount of strength. And then metal, so last week metal, well, rather the week just gone by, metal was one big thing because it fell through this massive support, thick support level, and once it fell, it just, you can see there was a meager recovery on Monday trying to go up, and then on Tuesday it just collapsed and then it's gone up. But now it's come back and it's become an important resistance zone, and it'll be really important to watch whether it can break out through that or whether it's going to get pushed back down. Yeah, I think we've done all the industry sectors, right? So this is the long-term Sensex chart. Alright, so if you look at the Sensex, you have on the weekly big red candles and a tentative hammer or a hammer there, but we need another week to know whether confirmation is going to happen. So overall, the thing is that looking more like a bounce rather than a full recovery of the fall. The expectation is the market will wait and watch for the results starting mid-Jan. Is the way I look at it. A lot of the sector indices are either at 50-day, 100-day moving average resistances, or like in the metal index, it's at a very important resistance. There are quite a bit of upper shadows in some of them. The only ones which are clearly quite strong, I think, is banks. PSU Bank is a surprise, and yeah, actually I can't think of anything else which I would like be very eager to buy on, let's say, Monday morning, right? So apart from banks, FMCG is like finally fallen, and pharma is like being a little wobbly in my opinion, right? Okay, so that's it about the sectors. Let's get into all the individual stocks in the Nifty Junior. Right. Okay, so this is Aditya Birla, and massive up move on Aditya Birla on Thursday after this correction, and so this is interesting. So the move on the correction day or the hammer happened on very high volume, a lot of churning that was going on that day, and then the recovery has happened on on an average wise. If you look at the last 3 weeks, higher, and then today there's been a slight pause there. What's important is for this resistance line to be broken, and if Aditya Birla can go above that, then only can we expect the security to do well, and then 1800 is going to be a resistance. This amount of churning on this day, basically the stocks going out, I think, from maybe weak hands to positive hands, hopefully. Can't really be sure at this point, but then the way the stock moved on Thursday, I definitely think there's some sort of accumulation going on, and if you have a longer term view on this, then definitely it would be a buy, and once it's above 1800, then definitely much higher levels of up to even 2000 should be expected quickly after that. Okay, and obviously if you're a trader, then you don't want this low to break, which is at around or the low is at 1550 exactly, right? And 1500 excellent support. I would say maybe you look at tentatively track the 1800 call for 1750 or 1800 call for Jan and see how that goes, right? Okay. Adani Enterprises, so again upper shadow today, nothing great on the volumes, but MACD has done a crossover and has come to a pretty important support level, which is this, which has been there from April this year. Tested quite a few times. It's been tested again this week, and one could have this as an excellent stop loss. See how it comes exactly the 200-day moving average and then moved up from there. Good confirmatory candles. Once it clears 465 Adani Enterprises, then 495, 500 would be a psychological level to watch out for, in my opinion. So slight pickup in volume today, and again a lot of volume churning on Wednesday, right? I like to see pictures like this where the MACD tentatively is doing that, and if one gets in and one is, of course, luck is also there, then it starts to create the next move, positional up move. Adani Ports. All right, so life high, nice support at the previous. I wouldn't say this is exactly the previous life high, but around that is a good zone. Around 260, 270. It's taken support there twice in the last 2 weeks and gone up. And once it becomes used to becoming a 300 rupee stock, then I think that's when you'll see Adani Ports sort of shine. And again, it's picked up volumes on the way up. So Adani Ports definitely. Okay, let me put that down. I like this because good multi-month support, close to its life high, has to get used to another 300 rupee sort of number, and the MACD is doing a tentative crossover. So if you look at this, it's not exactly, but it's almost like a rectangle all the way from July. And we're talking about 270 to 300, that's 30 rupees. That's easily 10% up from current prices, 10-12% up probably, and I don't think it would stop at that level. It would probably go higher. It's a consolidation which has been going on for about 4-5 months, and it's almost like a, on the weekly chart, anybody patterns wise, inverted head and shoulder. So that's a consolidation pattern. So if you talk about targets, then we are talking about almost 50 rupees, and excellent. If you look at the weekly chart, you can see nice bullish engulfing. 50 rupees is the target. That's the neckline, almost the life high. 350 would be your target. Let it take 3 months. It's fine. 15% in 3 months is very good on the spot. Apollo Hospitals. Okay, so dancing around its life high, massive. What? Something must have happened on Wednesday. I mean, such a deep fall and such deep recoveries almost on every stock so far, and probably see lots of them on other stocks also. Whether some trigger to this whole thing, right? Okay. But if you're an intraday trader, this day would have been pretty gut-wrenching for you, unless you were really fast and maybe you made money both ways, then you'd probably be obviously very excited. Okay, so Apollo Hospitals, I would say wait till it breaks around 1200, 1225, closes above that for a day or two, and then buy. Maybe the next stop is 1500. Ashok Leland. All right, so Ashok Leland has, sorry, is this not there in the Nifty Junior anymore? Okay, doesn't matter. Anyhow, since some of us bought it, nice candles, nice Marubozu. Today filled green, only thing. But yep, this is nice. Filled green, low volumes, nice consolidation. Wait and watch. The 100-day moving average gave it support, and again it's 50 rupees and 60 paisa. The market just getting used to this being, I think, 50 rupee stock, and once that is done, then 55 and higher is definitely on the cards. Bajaj Financial Services, so this actually made a new life high. Yep. So Bajaj FinServ, so Monday made a new life high. Why this didn't get updated or what? Sorry, there is something wrong with this. What about the others? Yeah, this is all fine. Okay. There's something wrong with this chart. Sorry, my apologies. But whatever it is, 19 good recovery in terms of a nice Marubozu. Of course, the middle something is missing. But whatever it is, I would suspect that this is actually a pretty good buying opportunity. Bajaj Financial Services giving out loans, consumer loans and all that stuff. And anybody in the lending business with interest rates about to drop, it's a good place to look at. There was some discussion we had 2-3 weeks back when somebody said something about consumer durables could be another one space in the coming weeks and months to watch out for, and these are the guys who actually finance that. You go to any white goods shop and you'll see Bajaj Financial Services as one of the prime lenders for white goods stuff, right? So I am suspecting, even though this chart is not full, that it's definitely a good buy. 1500 would be the next target, and from a long-term perspective, and then should be probably held for many months if not quarters. Bajaj Holding, alright, so this has got updated. I don't know what happened to that one. Anyhow, I'll check it later. Okay, so something is in this massive volumes, looks like some, I don't know, some confusion, that's for sure. Looking like distribution. This is exactly what distribution looks like. A lot of upper shadows. Everybody who's done both theory know exactly what I mean. And looks like distribution going on in Bajaj Holdings. Interesting, at around 1450, 1500, and this is definitely not a good picture. I would just say, just stay away from this for now and don't do anything. Don't buy, don't sell, don't trade. A lot of volatility and not going in rest of the line with the rest of the market. Having said that, if this stock were to break below 1250 on a closing basis, I think it'll probably become a good shorting opportunity. From a short perspective, you could look at it, or even if it goes to 1450, maybe even 1500, but is not able to go above that, then it could be an excellent short in Bajaj Holdings. Let me put that. Okay, Bajaj Finance on the other hand, services, buy. Bank of India, alright, so this one surprised actually, because really not broken out through that 300 rupee resistance. Please remember what happened to Punjab National Bank once it broke to 1000 and the way it zoomed up. Just saying, you never know, this could do the same thing, though there are a lot of resistances, and could be at 330, 350 in the blink of an eye. So watch it, put an alert, and then see. There's no question of selling any of these things, just watch. Volumes coming down over the last few days. MACD literally around that zero mark for almost 5-6 months. The stock needs to move, that's it. Could move anytime, and only on the upside. Okay, so Bharat Forge made a new life high and corrected and is okay. Yep, above 950, buy it. Cluster of resistance is right there at around 920, 925. Wait for them to break out and then only look at buying Bharat Forge. First stop will be 1000, that you'll have to get used to. Might dilly-dally there a bit before it moves up again. Biocon, probably, sorry, it's not in the list, but anyway, okay, let me skip in the interest of time. Bosch, so 21,000. I so well remember talking about this at 15,000 and 14,000, so it's just gone. Patience, patience guys, again learn from this. September, October did nothing for 2 months, and then from 15 to 20,000 in a month. That's 30% in 1 month. So it's nice to say 30% in 1 month. Actually, you would have maybe bought it here and just kept holding it. It'll be 30% over 2 months or 3 months. It's okay. You've got to have that outlook and then be prepared. Look at the volume, still much higher than what they were for months before that. There's a lot of activity going on. Something is cooking. If somebody can find a fundamental report on Bosch, that would be good. If you have some friends or contacts in Bosch, let's make some calls. Let's find out, are they doing something new? Are they doing something different? New products? What's going on? because this is definitely that sort of volume is not because of, and again, this is not a retail person stock. 20,000 rupees, how many retail people buy? That sort of volumes is, I am suspecting, institutional volume, HNI volume, hedge fund volume, whatever you want to call it. And therefore, I think the charts are definitely tell us watch, watch, watch. And the thing on Bosch will be buy at every dip possible. Don't know whether they'll do a split or a bonus or whatever it is, but not a stock you don't want to buy, right? At least for your long-term portfolio. Yeah, I'm going to put that down then. What's cooking? Something for sure. Buy. Okay, Canara Bank. So this is interesting. So Canara Bank breaks out. Bank of India did not break out. Remember that. And all this is happening on increasing volumes over the last month or so. MACD is starting to trend up just that little wee bit, and you can see that in the chart also, that the highs, bottoms are becoming higher. So something, it's at least breaking out. Bank of India will break out, just a matter of time. Bank of India, Canara Bank has broken out from that resistance of 420. It is now at 428. I would buy it on every dip now that the breakout has happened. Need to be a little cautious with this dark cloud cover. Let's see, but I think overall the last 3 months it's clearly up, and buy it target will be 490, 500. Colgate Palmolive, so it's corrected from 2000 to 1780. Okay, you have a bullish engulfing, nice chart, but now stuck between resistances and supports. Volumes have definitely picked up. Could be a place to buy, no doubt about that. And then 1900, 1950 would be a stop again, and then once it's above 2000. So again, it came down to this, old life high of around 1675 or almost there, and this is the 100-day moving average, bounced off from there, and today is again high, a long upper shadow. So that's one small thing, but I think overall one should probably look at buying it purely technically, and the next stop would be 1950, 2000. Having said that, this is the FMCG space. Remember, the FMCG index is not looking healthy at all, so you may just want to avoid the FMCG space for now and look at the banks and Bajaj Financial Services and Adani Ports and stuff like that. Okay, Container Corporation of India. Technically, I would say that this is looking pretty strong in terms of wanting to move up. A lot of, again, distribution like activity seems to have happened for the last 4 or 5 months on Container Corporation. It might, and of course this 1200, look at the low here, 1210 paisa, and just came there. At that day, the 200-day moving average was at 1190, and it's recovered swiftly to that. So I would say wait and watch. At all these range are on all the way till 1500. There's been quite a lot of selling. So if you look from August, September, October, I would say net more upper shadows than lower shadows. So I don't know who's doing the selling, obviously, but that sort of distribution may not be very healthy for the stock in the long term. So stay away. Crompton Greaves, okay. So once upon a time for me, this was a company that made only fans, and then I went to their website and they do a hell of a lot of things. And it's definitely a laggard compared to many other stocks and many other sectors. But having said that, this is really a nice picture on the chart. This is really an important support at 160, 165. And this was a doji on Tuesday. All the other ones happened on Wednesday. And then you had a confirmation and it's gone up. Probably gapped up today like rest of the market and cooled down. That's what I would attribute this filled green to, and nothing more. But I think that there could be a potential bottom here, and maybe you could look at putting a trigger order buy at 195. Once it clears these resistances and then 200, then it's probably going back into the next up move. Cummins India. So okay, this one definitely did not correct like the rest of the market has so far, and therefore Cummins is a stock that I think one could look at, and capital goods stock does a lot of things, and definitely a leader within that sector as far as stock behavior is concerned. Okay, and it is now only got consolidating sideways. It's like almost a big flag which is really extending out. This is the weekly chart, and a clear move from 700 to 950. I'm saying this is a flag, and it's a question of this breaking out from 950, and then 700 to 950, 250, 250 plus 950 will make it 1300. So I will put this down. Flag 1300. Patience, I think, is the real issue with this. When will it break out? Don't know. You can keep tracking it or put alerts or put SLTP orders, whatever you prefer. But if you're following pure TA, then needs to break above 950, right? Then only you'll buy Cummins. Dabur. Okay. Just a little bit of a concern. I would say stay away from Dabur. This is looking like a rounding top. Okay, not looking like, it is a rounding top, and potentially this is where the neckline is, which it has sort of breached but bounced maybe, and today you had this big one. I would say stay away from Dabur. You're buying it only if it crosses 250, otherwise nothing doing. Just watch, and if it breaks 220, then I think it's going to be a good shot. As a matter of fact, might be a good shot on Monday, Tuesday if it doesn't go beyond 240, and 244, 245 as a stop loss for a shot. First target 225 is actually not too far from this, 227 actually, 2 rupees. Or if it breaks this 225 and it goes below 219, good time to short with a stop loss at 228, another good one at around 240. So if the market turns weak, I think Dabur could be a good shot. Okay. Divi's Lab. Okay, going 1700 sideways. It's a wait and watch game. Either it breaks above 1750 or it breaks below 1650. If it breaks below 1650, 1550, 100 rupee shot is almost a good guaranteed profit. If it goes above 1750, then 1850, 1900 is definitely possible. Volumes, nothing to write home about. May want to wait if one looks at the MACD again, and okay, hold on, there is a positive divergence. Can you see it in the RSI? Is there? One sec. Low 34.30, yeah, 35, and this was the low here. There was a lower low there. So there's a positive divergence on RSI on Divi's Lab, and you may want to keep that in mind. And nice sort of double bottom, although it's not described that way, in the MACD itself, and could actually be setting itself up for maybe 100, 200 rupee up move to its previous life high quite easily. Though overall pharma is weak, but Divi's has definitely been one of the better performers in that sector. Exide, okay, I think stay away, let it break up 180, and then we'll see. Have copper prices come down? Does anybody know? This is very interesting. You need to look at Exide and keep it, make sure that it crosses 180. When it crosses 180, jump in if it happens with high volumes, because this is a triple, quadruple top type formation over the last 4 years, and once it breaks out of that, then zoom, it's inevitably going to go up. Car sales have been okay, and of course Exide is not the only company, doesn't depend only on cars and two-wheelers and all. They do a lot of other things, UPS, and I think Bobby was telling us about submarine batteries last time, right? So these are all things that we need to sort of keep in mind. And 180 and above, it would be an investment buy for sure, and could possibly be a good trading buy also. Federal Bank, anyhow, I mean, without an exception, I think banks will be buys on every opportunity. Really nice bullish engulfing, right? Okay, Sid, take care. We'll catch up later. So Federal Bank continues to be a good buy. Just buy it once it's about 150, then higher. That's it. I mean, what else? 200 could be a target. All right. Glaxo, some massive buying happened here. It's come back to this level. And taken support there very nicely, as you can see. All right. Could be a, not could, probably is a good buy. Can't see the chart, volume chart very well because of this erratic volumes. And I would think, yes, you could buy it with a very, very good stop loss of 2840, or better still, wait till it crosses 3050, and then 3250 is definitely a good potential. Glenmark, okay, struggling right on top. Stock after stock, or rather quite a few stocks, seem to be having these, higher shadows up there. And Glenmark, well, just today is the bounce, and everything else has been pretty bad for it. I would say just stay away from it, and could possibly a shorting candidate if it goes to about 770, and definitely a shorting candidate below 720 with a target of 680. So okay, GMR Infra. All right, so again, poor recovery, being hammered down again. We said infrastructure indices looking bad, so could potentially be one of those stocks to actually short. So it went to 18 rupees and then got beaten down to 1685. Don't do anything right now. You buy it only above 20 or short below 1550. Till then, stay away. Godrej Consumer Products, nice recovery. Poor volumes. This is the whole deal now. Last 2 days have been on really poor volume. So FMCG again, not really healthy. A bounce to, let us say, 964 could be an opportunity to actually short, maybe even 1000, and once it is below 882, it's again a short. So Dabur, Godrej CP, GSK Consumer, okay, that's definitely looking better. That's just the whole line extended, nothing else. Okay. Interesting. So 6,000 double top, very big one, very big one. I would say just wait and watch. I would even maybe, see again, January will be about events, and if you have any sort of news, or I don't know if it's an FNO thing, and option chain analysis might not really help also because of liquidity problems. But the 6,000 call option on GSK consumer product, if it is there, I don't forget it. I think it's just a long shot because liquidity is probably horrible, is potentially something that one could look at to enter. Yeah, again, not a retail stock. Mostly the big hands would be in this at 5,600. Not many retail people like to buy stocks that are in those number range. But once it's above 6, then could be much higher. Remember what happened to Glaxo, what's happened to HUL, GSK again, remember, is a multinational FMCG company. This is looking like a nice, actually, what I was expecting exactly, consolidation. Moving to weekly. So you can see that in 2013, in 2009, here big volumes. Let me just clean it up a bit. Yeah, 2009 middle, big volumes. Then there were again volumes in 2010. In the beginning of the year 2009 was in the middle of the year, and then 2013 in the beginning of the year, big, I think, window here. And then after 2013 again, huge volumes in between. It seems to have gone into a long range consolidation, the way I look at it. And this is monthly chart. Okay, so if this breaks out, then yep, I think definitely higher levels are possible, and it is looking like it just might break out. So I would definitely keep a watch on GSK Consumer. All right. In the petro, so interesting. Actually, didn't go down with the rest of the oil and gas index. So that's what something we were discussing last weekend. Also, the oil and gas index split into two: the OMCs and the actual drilling and raw material like ONGC and Oil India. So this is not really done badly at all. 590 to 540, just a mild correction going sideways, and once it's above 590 600, then zoom. So another stock, HPCL, buy. Right, above 590 600, then 650 could possibly happen in 6 months, who knows. The big risk with these will only be if crude oil suddenly moves up. But again, I think there's a multiple themes playing out here. The deregulation, the fiscal deficit, the flexible taxation, excise duty. They might decrease the excise duty. So I think the margins of these OMCs at least are going to be pretty well protected, and I'm expecting that they would go up even from these levels. So whether it's HPCL or BPCL or whatever it is. IDBI, don't even want to look at it. It's really pathetic, this chart, so let's just leave it. Okay, so we now have idea. Okay, so one big news about telecom, apart from the upcoming, I think, auction, is I know from a good friend who tracks Reliance Jio that it's going to launch in the next 6 months, and then a pan-India across in the next 1 year at some ridiculously cheap prices compared to what we are paying for internet right now. So it'll be really interesting, because the space is, I think, all the companies, Idea, Airtel, Arcom, are going to really feel the big heat coming, and we just need to, I think, stay away from this companies for now, for the next 1 year till Reliance Jio comes out. They could be doing anything anytime, and you don't want to be on the wrong side. So trade if you want telecom, but do not invest in telecom is my suggestion at this point. And on idea, okay, I would say watch till it becomes to 155, and even then it could be a short. But if it goes below 142, then it should be shorted till 140. Indian hotels, right? What? Wow. Okay. Uptrend, which is going on for quite a long time. Definitely need to, why it's conky this line. Oops. What is this? Alright, so good uptrend. It has been since the middle of last year and should probably go above 125, and then once it's above 125 we're definitely going to 150. So in hotels is looking good. IndusInd Bank, buy. All the banks is buy. So again, not much of a correction, as you can see. Small sideways move about 25 rupee range. Once it goes above 800, it's a buy. That's it. May not happen this week, but most probably in the new year. Infratel, so yep, broke the life high this week, and I just kept going higher. If somebody has a fundamental story or Infrastel fundamental report, it would be great to get it. Just a question of good volumes, breakout volumes, no doubt about it, and I think it's set to go even higher on this. I doubt it's going to come to 320, but if it does, then you're damn lucky. Just buy it. This is opportunistic profit booking, in my opinion, and it's just going to move to much higher levels, 400 sometime early next year. And then let's remove this now. It's not useful. ING Vaishya Bank, buy, so that merger still not over, and it'll be that ratio, conversion ratio, which is causing all this, and most probably this is the price at which it makes no sense to buy it given the whatever arbitrage opportunity is over. So just leave ING Vaishya. JSW Steel, so this is why I'm saying, wondering that there's a bounce. So you have a nice two green candles, but you have massive upper shadows. Plus, the volumes are high, but those upper shadows, is it churning? Is it bulls and bears having a big fight? What's going on? And this is nothing significant in terms of multiple months or 2-3 years. So on the other hand, thousands are definitely a psychological level that it has bounced off from, but I think it's premature to buy. Just leave it, watch it, and if it comes down below 1000 for whatever reason, then excellent short with a stop loss of around 1017 and all the way to 900, 850. LIC Housing Finance, it's been a buy for us for a long time. Quite a bit of a correction, massive one this week on Tuesday, and recovery. Recovery is not too appealing. The selling volumes are good, buying volumes little hesitant. Just wait and watch. I think in terms of financial institutions, we've already found some good ones. This one is a little looking iffy. No shorting those ones anyhow. M&M Finance. Right, this is interesting. Very low volumes. It's just been sold off. Definitely no shorting in spite of the strong red candles, but at around even current prices, it might. Okay, there you have it. So triple top, quadruple top, not able to actually break out. Could come back, in my opinion, to 281. That's another almost 20 rupees lower from here, in which case it probably become a good buy. So watch for that. Don't short M&M Finance, but if it comes down to around 280, again 200-day moving average right there, buy it. M&M Finance. I will around 280. Okay, this is not there. And this is not there, sorry. OFSS. Okay, so Oracle Financial Services. Okay, general recovery with the rest of the IT stocks in my opinion. Now, oh, what happened today? What's this massive volume? Block deal, bulk deal, God knows what deal. Okay, wait for Monday. You'll have some news, or news will come out over the weekend, and then we'll decide. But technically, above 34.50, it's a good buy. And if it comes back to 31.50, it's a good buy. So it's a wait and watch. Oil India Limited looking bad, looking bad, looking bad. So ONGC and oil were to be shorted. This one now broke below the 200-day moving average. Good recovery today. Good short with a good stop loss, very, very good stop loss as a matter of fact, 282. Back to 545, and once it breaks 545, then this has got a long fall, maybe all the way to 500 also. So if oil stays down for a long time, I think there's more pain for these companies, and it'll be good to watch oil also. Unfortunately, I don't have the chart for that. Petronet, please buy it on Monday. Alright, please buy Petronet on Monday. This is itching to break out. August, September, October, November. 185 to 200, 15 rupees. Again, 220 target. Came down to the previous life high at around 185 and turned up. Buy Petronet on Monday. Alright, I won't say anything more. The chart speaks for itself. Volumes are low. That's fine with consolidation. It's waiting to break out. And if it comes down, by the way, let's say 185, 190, whatever, buy it. Just buy and hold, wait for the breakout. Selling is only below 175, okay, on Petronet. Power Finance Corporation, okay, usually not amongst my favorites, but it's now going up on higher volumes. And I would say buy it above 310 and then at least till 340 hold. And once that goes, then big move to the life high of around 380, and it probably go much higher. On the longer term, this is not a typical one, but it's definitely a consolidation, right? And a sort of, not a good inverted head and shoulder. All right, so this is left shoulder, big head, right shoulder sort of getting formed. MACD looking very healthy on the weekly chart. So if you have the patience for like 3 to 6 months, you should probably buy PFC as of now, the way the picture is looking, because once it clears this level at around 335, 340, then the life high and then much higher. Sorry, it should not be here, and let's see. Okay, RCOM, alright, short. Absolutely no strength in RCOM at all. I would fully expect this to maybe even fall to 75. You have a really good shot on this on Monday itself. This level at around 87, 87.50, 88 is your stop loss for the short. First target is 80 and then it is 75. RCOM short. REC, again, it's looking like PFC, almost a ditto chart, right? It has to, if you have patience, it could pay off. If not, could, probably will. Let's see. Reliance Capital is dancing with all the long-term moving averages. Reliance Infra came and made a new life high. Sorry, life low. It hit the life. Yeah, it hit the life low, and for all you know, it would break down and go lower, and then there is no saying where it could go to. It may even go to, who knows, 50 bucks. Good place to just keep tracking. As of now, it's a bounce from the life low, which is actually just from last year, so it's could be important, but I would not buy it right now. Wait and watch. Our power, okay. Okay, this is interesting that you have good volumes today. As a trade, fine, go ahead with a strict stop loss for a short-term trade below 78.30 and a longer-term one at 74.40. Once it clears 87, then all the way to 100 is possible. But oh, this is interesting. Look at this. Just extending it, and there is the support. So double support there. Those with a slightly higher risk appetite should buy this in your portfolio and put a portfolio stop loss of 74.50 on this. That is SAIL, Steel Authority of India. Siemens, again, it's going to require patience. All these, I don't know, REC, PFC, Siemens, BHEL, L&T. There's no need, there's no hurry to get into them on Monday, Tuesday. But yeah, if you have patience, hold on to them. This one will probably test it a lot. You pass it for now. This has gone above a life high. Sriram Transport Finance. Yes, so all the finance companies or financing companies, right? So it's gone up. Good correction in my opinion on low volumes. Breakout move happened on good volumes. This one not too convincing, but anyhow. Almost came back to the old life high and went up. We'll definitely look at buying it. Nice hammer, nice confirmation. Pause today. Buy it 1200 first target, and once it breaks out, then much higher. Tata Chem. Okay, leave it. Tata Global. What happened? Big gap today. Oh, sorry, this also didn't get updated. I need to check my data. Passing this. Anyhow, looking weak for sure. Tech Mahindra. So sorry, it shouldn't be here. Titan. Wait and watch. Okay, this is a very good support at 360 and then 420, but there's no season now for gold or anything, and yeah, I just think it's better to leave it off. Okay, too much risk. UBL. Oh, sorry, this is Torrent Power. Should not be there. UBL, yeah. United Breweries Limited. Right. So where is Vijay Mallya disappeared from the scene? Almost not to be seen or heard of. Went from 680 to 840. Don't think this is so much a Vijay Mallya company anymore. And once it breaks 840, then definitely much higher levels of 950, 1000 can be expected. And after that, we can review. And there's a nice stop loss on this below 775 on the spot. Union Bank, just like Bank of India, hasn't broken out. Let it break out. That's the level to watch out for, 250, and then zoom. United Phosphorus, UPL, not UBL. Okay, this is looking good. Very mild. There's no correction at all in the stock compared to where the rest of the market has behaved. Definitely showing quite a bit of strength. I would say buy this and patiently hold it for 170, and once 170 goes, then it will go to 190, 200 quite nicely. So I'm happy to put UPL as a buy. Oh, sorry. UPL, what is this? Oh, shucks, I've not merged the charts. Sorry, UPL, I take it back. 350. Okay, some good support at 200-day moving average, but right now it is probably just purely technical. I'd say just wait, leave it, and then we'll review later. Yes, bank, buy. It's made a new life high, and it will continue to do so. Okay, one stock which is there in this but we did not see is Arvind. Arvind is a Nifty Junior stock. Yeah, so just like I think Balki said, or Balki or Madhu came to the previous life high. Is exactly what I've been saying for months now, 243, and then has bounced up from there. And if one had put a alert for that and just bought it off, then 243 is now at 270, and the only problem right now is that you had a descending triangle which has broken down but recovered, and the question is, does it break out on the other side of 290, 300? Because if it does not, then there could be some short-term trouble for this stock. So further buying should actually get initiated only on a good breakout of 300, and once it's above 340, then definitely much higher levels can be expected on Arvind. Done. So we have come to the end of the Reliance, sorry, what am I saying, Reliance, Nifty Junior stocks for today. And buy above, what was that, 300 on the BO of the descending triangle resistance. Okay. Okay, so this is interesting. Now we said earlier that looking more like a bounce than a full recovery. I think we have a pretty good mix of both long and short stocks for the week ahead. You've got some very specific ones, and depending on how the overall market is, the Nifty and specifically the Nifty Junior, take the positions accordingly if you're looking at trading. But if you're looking at also building a longer term portfolio, then things like GNSK Consumer, Indian Hotels, and Petronet, PFC, REC are all definitely things you should look at buying. One highlight, if you're looking for quick returns, I think it is Petronet for the coming week, right? Great. So we shall end here for today. If there are any questions, just mail them to me, and we'll probably get back to that over the weekend, right? Already 10:15, been a little late today. My apologies. The recording will be hopefully up by tomorrow noon or something, and I will send out the links, right? Thank you and good night.